Good morning, friends and family. It is Saturday, September 4th. I am here at the Stewart Creek Trailhead, and today I'm going to be hiking San Luis Peak. It took me about 5.5 hours to get here. Majority of that was through the dark until I turned off the highway, and it was about a 30-mile dirt road to get here, which took nearly an hour and a half. There's a handful of cars here at the parking lot, and I saw a lot of people camping on the way up. It is Labor Day weekend, so that was expected. It was a beautiful drive in. Once the sun started rising, there was a lot of lakes with some steam coming off of them. Saw some animals, some aspens changing colors. So San Luis is a class 1, which is basically just a walk up. I think round trip it's about 14 miles and 3,200 feet of elevation gain, which is actually a pretty steady grade. Basically the route, you just kind of follow this drainage here until you hook left and then ultimately gain the ridge, and from there it's just kind of a slope walk up. It is early September, so a little bit chillier temperatures, but hopefully the monsoon season's done, so we won't be getting any rain today. This will be my 37th 14er. San Luis has been one I've been wanting to do for years. It's just a big drive, and it took nearly 6 to get out from Denver this morning. So I woke up at 2 a.m. It's about 8 o'clock. Per usual, I have snacks, plenty of great beer, and it's looking to be a good day. So let's hit the trail. In previous trip reports, there's been a moose in these willows, or multiple moose. There is a lot of beetle kill up here. Clearly you can see nearly every tree on the left side of the screen is dead. So I'm stoked to get back out here. This peak has been, again, on my mind for a long time. I have read many trip reports over the years, and I'm excited to finally get out here. Should be a nice, easy stroll. It's a beautiful morning. Not too many cars in the parking lot. And temperature's warming up. Take this jacket off soon. Heard this is a great trail. The Colorado 14ers initiative did a lot of work on it. We'll see how that looks. So far so good. Been running into some yellow leaves. A lot of moisture this morning, so there's some dew on the plants. We still got some wildflowers out here. Some really cool moss this morning. I don't know why, but I love moss. It's just so cool looking. Very pleasant trail. Kind of the willows off to the left here with the creek. Some beaver ponds. Looking out for a moose, didn't see one yet. But I'm just kind of walking along this trail that's cut into the hillside here. Getting some moderate elevation gain. Very gradual. There's a moose right there. Hey buddy. Hey buddy. I'm gonna leave you alone now, okay? You have a good day. See you later. Well, that was pretty cool. Saw a moose. Generally you see them kind of in the morning, and it is morning, but I thought it might be a little late. But I was just walking along, and sure enough, he was right there off the trail by maybe 20 yards. It's the thing about these dense forests is there's so much going on and so much to look at. All these yellows and reds coming in, and a lot of tree fall, and it's just not a very clear-cut forest. So, you know, something like a moose can be hiding right behind a tree and you don't see it till you're almost too close for comfort. But that moose wasn't too big, and it didn't have a rack, and did not look intimidated or hostile, so it's pretty awesome. I gotta say, this beetle kill forest is really interesting. It allows for different kind of vegetation I think because more sunlight gets through, since there's no pine needles. Just very lush, very diverse, the whole landscape here. Spooked a deer. He's looking down from up there. He pranced on up the hill. Well, I just ran into my first hiker. She was hiking with her dog and said that there was a big bull moose on the trail ahead of me here, and I let her know that there was one that I passed simply because she has a dog. She also told me there was a really large deer or elk she saw this morning, as well as an entire herd of bighorn sheep up here. That'd be awesome to see. I've seen some mountain goats before, but I haven't really seen bighorn sheep too much, especially not in the wilderness like this. So I should be getting close to the basin here. I'm almost at 12,000 feet, and I know that I'll have views of the summit from there. I think that's my first view of San Luis Peak. It's either the one in center or that one just behind it. Just about at tree line. Breeze is starting to pick up. Getting a look around this basin for the first time. I think Baldy Alto is one of these peaks. Might be behind the shadowed one or the one to the right, but that is San Luis straight center. I'm going to be going up that saddle there to the left and then just hang right on the ridge till the summit. Beautiful day with these fall colors coming in and the clouds. This is awesome. I think I'm going to be getting to the start of the ridge here pretty soon. Some steep stuff, which I don't mind. I like the steep stuff. Just push it and gets you to the top quicker. So I'm all good for that. Got to get my apple snack though. This apple's good, but kind of hard to eat when you're at 12,000 feet. Huffing and puffing between bites. Gonna be heading up here, zigzags up, and that's actually not the summit. It's going to be behind it and up. So again, it's 10:45. I always try to be up and off summits by noon, especially if there's weather coming in. So that's looking where I came from. You can actually see the trail across the way there, just on the other side of the creek. And I started up these switchbacks. This weather is fantastic so far. Little breeze. Not that I'm chilly, but been some pretty good trail work done here. Nice rock steps. So there's my first look at the summit. Up there. This gain was just what I was looking for. At first I was just thinking this was gonna be a walk in the woods the whole time. Glad we got some elevation gain. had that apple, just smash up this hill. Basically got up this in 30 minutes. I think I'll get to the summit in, I bet 45. That'd be right around noon. So I made it to the saddle, heading towards Final Ridge. I'm just gonna be following that trail up. I see some people on the summit, and you can pretty much make out the rest of the route. Not gonna lie, this part kind of sucks. It's just loose rock. I feel like every step you take, you're sliding back a half step. So that's looking at the ridge I just climbed. Real rocky. And I'm just about at the saddle here. Wow. A little windy, but this is looking west. Final push. There's a summit. All right, I'm on the summit of San Luis Peak. I made it here at 11:59 a.m. Had a minute to spare. And right when I was coming up, the group was going down. And I think that's the last group on the summit. So that's the south ridge. I didn't take that, that's another option. I took this route, down all that, down, all the way down that drainage. But I don't think there's anybody behind me on this route. So I think I'm gonna be up here alone. This is beautiful up here. Just clouds everywhere. Got some views actually, the haze is lifted. There's Wetterhorn and Uncompahgre. You can actually see Snuffles. And then all the way out there is the Wemmanooch over by Silverton and all the way down into Durango and everything. Today's summit beer is Dino Bits. It's a double IPA from Weldworks and Toppling Goliath. It's a collaboration, and it's brewed with Belma, Citra, and Matueka hops. It's 8.2% double, and I've heard it's delicious. All right, let's try this sucker out. Color looks great. It smells like orange citrus. Yep, that is delicious. Man. So again, Weldworks is out of Greeley, Colorado. Toppling Goliath is out of Decorah, Iowa. So they collaborated 2 of their flagship beers, and this is delicious. It is past noon, so thought I'd have a beer. Got plenty of snacks, water. Feeling great today. I just gotta say, this hike is fantastic. It did take 6 hours to drive out here, but it was well worth it. I have the entire summit to myself. I don't think anybody else is coming up. This is just wonderful. So this is my 38th 14er. Technically I have 20 more, including some class 3s and class 4s. Well, mainly class 3s and class 4s. There are 4 peaks that aren't technically 14ers because of prominence. You can get into the nitty gritty regarding all that, but if you're gonna go by that measure, I have 16 more 14ers, but there are 58 total. Just 4 of them are sister peaks to their main parent peak and don't have enough prominence between the saddle to kind of equate as its own peak. It's kind of confusing, but people who do the 14ers a lot, you know, it's all in perspective. I mean, it is, those 4 are peaks that are above 14,000, but they just have a peak that doesn't have enough prominence. People say about 500 feet of prominence to the next peak for it to be its own kind of unique peak. So I've had the summit to myself. There is one more hiker coming up, but I've been up here alone for about 20 minutes. It's been very nice. There's There's Wetterhorn, Matterhorn, Uncompahgre. Sneffels is way back there. And the Wemmanooch Wilderness, Chicago Basin 14ers are all straight ahead there, way in the back. That's looking towards like Silverton and ultimately Durango, Creed. I gotta say, this has been a great hike so far. Definitely one of the most remote 14ers. And that showed with the lack of people out here. Just descended the summit, heading down this ridge now. A lot better speed heading down. Just want to make sure I don't slip holding this camera. That was pretty awesome having the summit to myself. A gentleman came up and then another hiker with a large backpacking backpack. And I didn't ask them what they're doing necessarily, but they came from the South Ridge. And I would assume that they would either head down that way, maybe they camped in a basin somewhere, or they're going to be coming down the way I am, and they're doing some sort of through hike or something. So there's nobody else on this trail though. Labor Day weekend, not mad about it. That's looking at the summit there. There's a trail coming back down. I'm heading back down the saddle and starting the steep switchbacks. So someone's got a tent set up down there. It's a beautiful view, but kind of odd placement to me because you could have just gone to the willows right below it and had a little bit of wind protection, but maybe wind's going to be light tonight and they just want to get a good view. I decided I'm just going to power through this section. It's pretty steep, but just going to try to do it as quick as possible, and then it's just gradual walking for the remaining of the route. I don't expect him to move a ton while I'm dropping down the rest of this elevation here. Getting closer to the moose. I definitely don't want to scare it, but I'm trying to be quiet as I descend. Oh, he's on the move. Oh, cool. Second moose this trip already. But this guy's a bull for sure. Looking back on the ridge here in these colors, fall is definitely on its way. What a wonderful day, seriously. This has just been amazing. Everybody says it's one of the easiest 14ers, but it's beautiful up here. And it's also one of the least hiked. Oh, that's awesome. I'm not sure if the trail's gonna allow me to get any closer to this guy, but I'm pretty close to him. I'd say maybe 70 yards. It's pretty cool. He's got his rack, he's just chomping on some willows. And I'm just trying to keep quiet and see if I can get closer. My buddy Mark let me know about this Goose Island called Tropical Beer Hug, and it's a DDH double IPA 9.9%. Look at this, sun just came out. There's the moose. So let's open this bad boy up. Oh, a little shaken. Oh, oh. This section's really cool. You're just kind of hugging the side of the slope, just carving in. It's got these cool parts with these rock wall buildups and little streams. Pretty awesome. This basin is just gorgeous. This area is just so remote. Seen a few big game already. I don't generally see that ever on 14ers. So it is just a warm afternoon. There's a breeze. Kind of just the last days of summer here. But I'm glad I got out this weekend and did it, because you never know here. And this summer was just so smoky and so hot. We've reached the switchback portion of this hike. I call this section the Narrows. It's not really that dramatic, but if you were walking along not paying attention and you stepped wrong and kind of went with the weight of your pack or something, you could take a tumble. Hey look, Christmas trees. Look at this guy. That one's perfect. I put that in my house. Come on now. Little Charlie Brown guys. Oh. Beautiful creek here. Just walking through this forest. Great afternoon. I saw this on the way in. I didn't come over here, but looks like a pretty sweet camp spot. The river's nearby. I mean, you could backpack up here. Yeah, plenty of spots. It's got a campfire. Pretty cool. So a great little camp spot. Pretty cool. This area has just been outstanding. Coming down here just takes time. Whether you come up from Creed or over the way I did. It's a long drive. This is definitely one of the most isolated 14ers, if not the most isolated. It's awesome. Just feels a little more wild out here. And I like that. Looking up the basin, you can't even see San Luis now. It's hidden behind those. This creek is really cool. These beaver ponds. There's tons of them. Saying goodbye to the basin for now. Garita Wilderness. This is a beautiful place. I will be back. I definitely want to do Stewart Peak, which is a 13er. Actually the second highest 13er. It's like 12 feet short of being a 14er. And I could have actually tied it together with today's route. I probably would have wanted to camp at the trailhead and start at, 3, 4 a.m. And I could have done it. But that just means that I will be back, because that is a very prominent 13er. Maybe I'll come back with someone else who wants to do San Luis. Almost back. I gotta say, this is a long day. 14 miles. Not much elevation gain, but the fact that I still have to drive about 6 hours home. I'm just about back to the trailhead. This hike was phenomenal. It was great. I'd do it again. Remote, peaceful, had a great time. Pretty much gonna do it. San Luis Peak, Garita Wilderness. Awesome. I plan to be back. I gotta get 13er Stewart Peak. And it's just an amazing experience. Hope you all check out some of my other videos. Subscribe if you haven't. Have a great night. All right, peace.